Well, several weeks ago, we had a project update, and we talked about the lot on the west side of our property. And in 2026, we plan to build an accessible playground for kids with handicaps and special needs. And as part of that, we invited, well, first, the goal is to raise an additional $120,000 to keep our church on solid financial ground. And before we made the ask to the congregation, our leadership in the church raised $70,000 of that $120,000. And now we've come to the congregation several weeks ago and are trying to bridge the gap and raise the full 120. And as part of that, there's just been a lot of prayer and conversations that have been going on in the life of our church. And as I've heard some of these conversations, as they've jumped out at me, I wanted to invite some of those folks who are having those conversations to come up and share how the Spirit's working in those conversations. So today, I am asking Rick Kadrufi to come forward. Rick has been part of our church for a long time. I don't know how many years. How long have you been a member at this church? 30 years. Oh, okay. Huh. It's the magic number. So Rick has served in our church as an elder, and he leads growth groups and is part of our discipleship, adult discipleship team. And 2 weeks ago, we were in a meeting together, and he started sharing a story. And I'm like, that's a story that needs to be shared with everyone. So Rick, tell us a little bit about that.
So I have a grandson named Connor who is autistic. His mother, Stephanie, threw an 18th birthday party for Connor 2 months ago at Harley's Valley Bowl. The kids who were invited were classmates of his at his special needs school. And Connor's also part of a special needs bowling league, and most of the kids invited to the party were part of that also. At the party, I had a chance to interact with some of the kids. I also got to talk with their parents and families. It was that set of conversations with the parents and families that opened my eyes to this community that I sort of knew about, but really wasn't truly aware of. These parents have given up so much to care for these kids. These kids aren't going to go off on their own after high school and when they go to college. These parents get what that means, and that they will be caring for these kids for their whole lives. They chose love for these kids instead of what they wanted for themselves. Many gave up careers to care for these kids. I'm not saying, I saw love in them that I wish I had for my kids. I'm not saying I don't love my kids. I really do. But what I'm saying is these parents and families have chosen love for these kids in a way I can't even imagine, and it blew my mind. The thing I also realized is that there's a whole community of people that most of us never really see or get that they are all around us. I also saw that these families need spaces where their kids can interact safely, and also where they, as family caring for these kids, can just relax, let off some steam, and interact with others who get their world. Let me share something Stephanie shared with me after the party that I think really gets to the heart of these families. Stephanie texted me that these kids have taught me a lot. I am extremely grateful Connor was able to introduce us to a whole new world. I always worried I may have affected Ashley, which is her daughter, with getting Connor, but I see it did affect her in all good ways. This 18th birthday party for my autistic grandson, Connor, opened my eyes to a world that is right around me and I was so unaware of. Yes, I knew some of Stephanie's journey with Connor, but I had no idea about the bigger picture.
And so obviously that's influenced how you feel about the project?
Absolutely. The fact that we can create a space where people can have community together that need it, because they're typically somewhat isolated, and a community based on people of faith wanting them to have that. To me, that was just an amazing idea that we could provide that.
Thank you, Rick. Thanks for sharing.